Good evening. Oh, I don't need that up. Good evening. Welcome to Investigator News, and I'm your host, Ellie Holder, and this is Trivia Night. One of the funnest nights I think on the week. What do you think, Karen? I look forward to this. I don't know if it's because it's Friday or if it's Friday thing. Happy Friday and Happy Mother's Day for all you mothers out there. Yeah, it's trivia night. That's right. Karen, are you gonna play? And we got even Mary in here. Mary gonna give it a try. I got some hard stuff tonight. I'm thinking I'm gonna stump you guys. It's movies and TV stuff. Uh, I didn't know none of them. But I'm really bad at trivia. I also got some really good news. Not well, I don't know. It's not good news. News is never good. And um, this is today would be the start of the invasion, and they're letting them through, giving them cell phones. Now I heard ankle bracelets, but I haven't heard. None of the news reports have said, "Oh, they're stopping and putting ankle bracelets on people." Why would they put ankle bracelets on them? The other thing concerns me is something I heard today that we are going to blow up um, the I think it's a chip factory in Taiwan, and I heard that and I was like, why the heck would we do that? Because we're building one in Arizona. And so if we take it out, they have promised all the Taiwanese people that work at this chip factory, they can come over here and work. That makes no sense. I don't know. So keep your ear to the ground on that one, folks. And if the war starts with China and that factory blows up over there, or that manufacturing plant blows up, it kind of makes you wonder, because are they going to blame it on China, or I don't know. And me and you don't even have a cell phone. But William, don't do it. I got mine all scrambled up. I don't even know how I messed my phone up so bad. I just, what happened to the dial phone? Yeah, Karen says she's trying not to think bad on any of this happening. And the federal agents placed on standby in case of riots last night. And everybody said, "Why did you have a show?" We had a lot of viewers last night. Thank you guys. That was great. Maybe some of them are coming back today that hadn't seen the show. Um, they were expecting a big, huge force. They thought they would storm the borders. Now, my Tijuana lady went out and asked a few people today what happened. And you know what they told her was, well, we knew we could get in now. What's the rush? And we know we can only go in so many at a time. So the only ones rushing the borders are those that don't need to be in this country. And boy, they had a bunch of them. Um, don't worry about that, Karen. No, no, no. We're gonna make it easy today. Um, And we have to. Everybody was we had to keep Title 42 in place. It's got to be there, got to be there. Or did it really? It was only over the pandemic. Now they said the Democrats didn't do nothing in 2 years to fix this. Well, folks, neither did the GOP. What did they tried to put in place over the last 2 years to try to put in something new, or keep putting it in front of judges to change it? You can't just jump in at the last minute, and they did. They were able to, a judge was able to stop a lot of what was going on, of what Biden wanted to implement. And I think that had a lot to do with some of the migrants holding off. Also, there was so many um, military members at the border. The other thing they mentioned to my gal in Tijuana was uh, they were worried about that, with seeing all those military guys on both sides of the border. Is that all it takes? Then let's load it up. No, I guess not. But Title 42 is never going to fix anything. We could have delayed it for what? Well, it's time both sides put in a plan that's going to fix this. And the only thing that I could see really fixing it, put the wall up. It works in other countries. Why not put the wall up, see if it works? Only allowed so many ports of entry and only allow so many people at a time. If we only let 200 a day in, some people are going to go, oh, I ain't waiting 2 years to get in. And then for the dates for them to come back, it could be as long as 10 years for them to show up for court. See, the Biden plan isn't going to work one bit. I mean, waiting 10 years, we can't even find uh, all them kids that disappeared, let alone try to track down um, these people that's come across the border 10 years from now. Are they going to show up? Only about 4 to 8% show up. So, thanks to the judge, he moved against the Biden administration just moments before the title did expire. And then, of course, it caused chaos, they said. And of course, this administration decided to put it out on the apps that there was a change in plans. Ha- but then they were giving people phones as they went over the border. But what about everybody that stayed over on the other side? They don't have phones. I don't get it. The logic that they have that all of these people from third world nations have phones. They don't. And how are they going to know where they're supposed to check in or where they're supposed to stay or whether or not there was changes made and they can't come in? They're just going to come in anyway. Um, and then we had all kinds of states today. I mean, it was huge. We had states today declaring states of emergency. All the border states have, all of them, all from California to Florida. Texas did it. Chicago did it. Um, Alberta, even Alberta of all places, um, um, they are even calling a state of emergency. But now they have got wildfires, folks. But they have also called the state of emergency because everybody pouring in. And Denver is called for a state of emergency. DC, yeah, DC. And my idea is let's send them 70,000 to DC and we keep loading them up until they give and say we're going to shut the border down. That's my idea. And I'm going to keep pushing it. I thought I'd call Sarah Huckabee and give her this idea and see if she could talk to someone to implement this. I think this is a great idea. I thought about it many nights, many, many sleepless nights. How do we fix this? How do we fix it so we're not going to do, they're going to fight us on the wall. They're going to fight us in the courts. Well, then let's ship everybody there. Everybody that comes over that border, let's just ship to DC and Maryland and see what happens. But these states calling state of emergency, it's not frivolous because Adams he hasn't seen the brunt yet of what El Paso sees. No, but it's enough that he says, oh no, we can't do this. The same way with Chicago. Lori Lightfoot, of all people, saying, oh, we can't have all these people here because of the homeless already there. So as they come into our cities, each one of these states and cities, I think, are going to start hitting it up with the state of emergency. Uh, and will we see this administration reacting or acting on it? I don't think they are. They want this. They want millions of people in your cities. They want all of these migrants, what? Sleeping on the sidewalks, um, sleeping on our yards. Um, you know, something's not right. Something's not right with their thinking. Um, now, Today, I mean, I caught wind of this early on this morning. The ties that bind. And what am I talking about? The ties that bind. Now, I put it down in my show notes, folks, that I think I found the Biden's newest thing. Now, the people of Ukraine call Biden the leader of the country, and kind of like Zelensky's vice president. Well, IMF, William, you know what IMF is. They usually step in, and when there's war torn countries, or even if natural disasters or anything that tears up your country, usually the IMF will jump in and they put these loans out. The only thing is the loans are forever kind of thing. Well, we have been doing loans to Ukraine. Um, and it run out last month. And so now it's Zelensky's race to, he was hitting up the IMF, and the IMF's kind of hemming and hawing, and then it's getting down to the wire. And lo and behold, who jumped in but BlackRock? Now you're saying, okay, who's BlackRock? BlackRock is one of the biggest banking. They have all kinds of different fronts that they have, but it's basically um, banking and economical programs. They jumped in. Now you say, okay, so what? BlackRock jumped in. No, no, no. Wait a minute. Most of the BlackRock CEOs and administrators and people that work there are now they part of them were during the Obama administration, so it doesn't matter. But they guess what? They were working close with Joe Biden. Um, and then the other half, when Biden went into office, they all of a sudden the Biden family is now hooked up with BlackRock for banking in Ukraine. Doesn't it sound like what they've been doing, folks? What I told you the other day? Well, no, no, Karen, no. This is what's weird. It's all Biden, BlackRock, the people that are part of his administration now that are BlackRock. They jumped in before the IMF could do anything. And we've seen that Zelensky and the head of BlackRock shaking hands, going, "Oh yeah, we're happy campers." Now remember, if Biden is president, it would make sense for his banking that he's a part of would be in Ukraine for it to go further. Because now I mentioned in my Ukraine, um, when I did the Ukraine corruption, I told you that they were getting into banking into uh, Ukraine. Now they did this in 2013. So they were setting up banks, getting ready for, and not only it's not just BlackRock, it's J.P. Morgan too. So this is big. This is huge. And is IMF going to do anything? You ain't going to do anything. Anybody going to do anything? No, no. It's going to be up to people like Grassy and a few of them that will step in and say, we're going to look into this. But I can almost guarantee it's going to be another one of these companies that they buy into that is doing the same thing they've been doing since 1992. But don't let, the stuff you hear with Comer coming out, they've only begun to scratch. I've been collecting this info on all of this since 92 with the Clintons. And um, I know, Mary, I know who I need to call and talk to him for a little bit because I know a lot about this now. And I'm getting deeper and deeper, into digging it up. And I think I might have caught prematurely their next venture. Okay, we need some trivia to break all this up. And it is trivia night. I need special trivia game music or something to, ba 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 ba, to bring in trivia, make everybody forget about all this stuff. All right, so you guys ready for the first question? Mary, you playing tonight or you just watching? I'm gonna bug Mary tonight. And I'm gonna put her name on the list. I got everybody else in there as I was talking, and here we go. In what 1983 movie does actor Tom Cruise dance in his underwear to the song Old Time Rock and Roll? You know what? I had no clue. I didn't see that movie, and when I seen it, it was a clip of him doing that, but I never seen the movie. But I'm not a real big Tom Cruise fan. So um, jump in there and give your answers. Now, if you're playing for the first time, put your answers down below. And if you're re-watching our show at a later, like at 10 o'clock tonight, still do it. Still put your comments below. And if you got enough, I'll announce that, hey, this guy won over uh, on a delayed of watching the show. Yeah, throw those comments in that comment box. Um, Anybody else know the answer to this? I didn't miss much. What did I miss? Oh, okay. Yeah. Um, yeah. You're Susan's like me. She's seen the clip of Tom Cruise doing that with in his underwear playing the guitar, but other than that, I didn't watch it. It to me, it didn't look like a show I'd watch. I'm into the classics. Oh, well, yeah, actually, to be honest, I'm into westerns. I love western movies, especially some of the old ones. Now, I can't say John Wayne because my mom watched so many John Wayne movies. I really got burnt out on it. And then Clint Eastwood movies. I mean, man, I seen all the spaghetti flicks at the drive-ins. And then when they came on TV, I watched them, and then I rewatched them, and it's like, I need some different westerns. Now, oddly enough, over this last weekend, I was looking through westerns, and I kind of just go through and just pick one and just say we're going to watch it. Well, I happened to pick one that was the shakiest gun in the West with Don Knotts. That movie was just hilarious, folks. Okay, so what is the answer to this? Um, Answer is risky business. Risky business. Hello, Miss Lenora. Just take those old records off the shelf. Do we still have our albums? Does anybody really have a record player out there anymore? I got, I have a console. The old, great big long consoles with the record player and the stereo. I think it even has the 8 track in it with the old radio. I still got one of those, and I still have a huge box of records. Uh, yeah. Um, East was the best at the National Republican Convention. You know what? I um I didn't get to see that, Linda. I missed that. Maybe I ought to go back and watch it. All right, on to the next question. What song do Meg Ryan and Anthony Edwards Goose sing together in Top Gun? We know that one. All right. Susan Sarandon. Oh, well, we know these Hollywood stars are just getting kind of silly. And we found out that hard left she is. Susan Sarandon was arrested in New York on Monday during a protest over the state's minimum wage for tipped employees. She's 76 years old, and she was at the state capitol where she demanded tip restaurant workers, included talks to raise minimum wage to from 15 that they just got to 17. Um, they basically arrested her. They cuffed her, but she was later released. So if you're a Susan Sarandon fan, um, she was released. They didn't hurt her, and the cuffs didn't scuff her up any, and they didn't throw her to the ground in the middle of the night in her underwear. So she's fine. She's fine. Um, we got quite a few great balls of fire. Is it you guys think that's what it was? Um, William, are you sleeping? I heard someone snoring out there. I don't know if it's Mary or William. All right, on to the answer, and then we get on to the next one. Maybe I didn't make this hard for you guys. I think you guys are going to get all these. Great Balls of Fire. Is everybody singing it in their head? Or are they singing it? All right. The Top Gun song, Take My Breath Away, won an Oscar for Best Original Song in 1987. Who recorded it? I don't want to know the song. Okay, don't retype in Take My Breath Away. Who sang it? That is considered a one-hit wonder. So Susan Sarandon got arrested. And then, of all things, this week, we arrested another Chinese spy, this time in Boston. Breon Peace, the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of New York, along with other DOJ officials, conducted a 35-minute conference, and they laying out the details of two criminal complaints, which charged 44 defendants with the crimes involving harassment of Chinese nationals. And another criminal complaint of Harry Liu Zhangwang, 61, of the Bronx, and Chen Jinping, 59, in connection with Operation Illegal Police Station in Lower Manhattan. Liting Lang, the president of Brighton, Boston, Massachusetts, was indicted Tuesday, charged with plans to act as an agent of the foreign government. No, he didn't play, he was a stupid spy. Nope. He knowingly enacted and caused others to act in the United States as an agent of a foreign government, namely the People's Republic of China, without providing prior notification to the U.S. Attorney General, as required by law. Well, you're not going to go tell the Attorney General you're a spy. Huh. So there now we have not maybe just one, but maybe two Chinese spies that the FBI has been able to uncover and be able to make charges on them. Let's see. Um, all right. You know what? I think William and Mary are like trading answers, trying to figure who's going to run up and get like 5 points for one question. All right, here we go. And um, answer is Berlin. Answer is Berlin. One hit wonder, they say. What 1980s TV show did actor Tom Hanks star as Buffy Wilson? Yeah. Um, is that considered no, I don't think that was a whole tranny thing. No, I don't think so. But what TV show do you guys remember in the 80s where Tom Hanks dressed up and became Buffy Wilson? All right, I think all of you guys are going to get these. Um, now with four, and I should have thrown this over with the beginning with the title 42. Um, um, they are going to, and this is, I don't know if it was McCarthy that made this happen, but they're telling the border states, if you're putting them on buses, only send them to sanctuary cities. And it's up to that sanctuary cities to put them wherever they want in the state. Because under uh, the proposal for sanctuary cities was they were going to take in these illegals because they didn't want them charged. They said all of them can come there, and then they would work from there to either move them to where they wanted to be or help them become a citizen. Now all these sanctuary cities are saying, "Oh no, no, state of uh, they're going to have to, this is they can't have this." So that's kind of what we're looking at. that we're going to send them to the sanctuary cities. And it's only fair because that was the agreement. Um, Now, China is sending a special group to go to Russia, Ukraine, to try again for to get them to either ceasefire or a peace plan. So, um, let's see. Uh, all right. I'm trying to see if anybody. uh, Susan says no, 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 no. All right. So, what is the answer to this one? Yeah. Answer is bosom buddy. So if you answer bosom buddies, you got it right. And if you didn't, throw some popcorn. Yeah. If you didn't get it and this stuff's driving you crazy, throw some popcorn. So, it's a throwing popcorn kind of day. Karen, instead of, getting a little anxiety, just throw some popcorn. But you don't have a dog there to clean it up. Um, and the sanctuary cities, folks. Um, the thing with this is what they agreed to. When it was all about MS-13 and Nancy Pelosi's, oh, we'll take them. No wonder California's so messed up. Whoa. And if you didn't hear in the last show, California and Sacramento had a very strong earthquake of a 5.5. All right. So, when when we talk about securing the border, 213 Democrat voted against securing the border. So mostly all of them. So if you got one of these congressmen in your state, you call them up and ask them why. And don't call DC, call some of their other offices. I'm finding out. If you don't call DC and don't call the first on the list. If you say their offices, it'll give you two or three things where you can get a hold of these senators. Call one of the other ones and they'll actually answer the phone. And then you can leave a comment. They're not going to talk to you, so don't think they are. They're not going to hook you up with the congressman, but they will take your comment. Like that's going to work. Okay, so on with the next question. We're getting through this quick today. After Big, Tom Hanks and Penny Marshall teamed up for which popular baseball movie? Which popular baseball movie did Tom Hanks and Penny Marshall team up on? I think that one's an easy one. I knew that one. Um, okay, um, we had some of the economic advisors, Yellen and a few others, that has now come forward and they say it's a good idea that the U.S. could start buying oil to refill the SPR as early as June. Why are we buying oil? I mean, isn't we were self-sufficient 2 years ago. It didn't dry up. It's still there in the ground. There's plenty of it. So why aren't we doing that here? Because they don't want other countries to see that we're going to break the Green New Deal agreement. Dumb idea. All right, so we're looking for a baseball movie, and the answer is A League of Their Own. So, how many of you got that one right? Yesterday, Beth, I left a message. See, I've been waiting for somebody out of California to say, and it was felt 150 miles away, Lenore. Um, and so it was yesterday. I'm believing it was a 5.9 is what I'm looking and starting to see, not a 5.5. Uh, and it hit the south part of Sacramento. You drew a blank? Uh, oh, for the League of Their Own? Okay, I didn't see any answers on that. All right, on to the next one. What is the name of the 1989 baseball movie starring James Earl Jones and Kevin Costner? That was the other. I said League of Their Own for this one, and then I seen it and I went, yep, yep, wrong movie, wrong movie. You didn't feel it, huh? Okay, I got her down. I got her down for the point. Um, oh, I think everybody knew this one, but see, I said it was the last one. I thought it was a League of Their Own, and then I thought about it. I said, wait a minute, James Earl Jones wasn't in that one, and then I had to think on it, and I drew a blank. So, uh, quite a few knew this movie. I like this movie. This was one of the better, I think, James Earl Jones movies. The answer is Field of Dreams. Field of Dreams. So, hey, William's awake. William, was that you snoring or was that your dog? What gift does Rose receive from her fiance in the Titanic? Now we're on to Titanic, folks. Get off baseball. And Tom Hanks. Yeah, let's get rid of Tom Hanks. What gift does Rose receive from from her fiance in Titanic? And we'll get on with a little more news. I only do a little bit on Fridays because we just do a trivia. So, um, um, and when we're back at the border again on this story because Biden at the very beginning when he said everything was going to be taken away from the wall. At that time, they have now found out with this Comer and Grassy investigation that top Biden nominees and administration told staff not to cooperate with ICE because they were defunding them within a few months. See, I didn't know that, but they're so everything going on right now with the Democrats, like they just finding one more piece to destroy America. Um, all right. Anybody else got the answer for the Titanic movie? What did Rose receive from her fiance? And um, it's very simple. They just say a necklace. They didn't say the blue diamond. They didn't. They just said a necklace. All right. What instrument did Julie Andrews learn to play for her role as Maria with The Sound of Music? I think everybody knows that one. Um, now, Iran and Iraq, and they're even saying it could be Syria and even Afghanistan, Pakistan, could be signing an agreement for expanded energy. Um, and they want to tie up together to solve the energy issue that we're all experiencing. And the thing is the article goes to blame the United States for all of this. And they said it isn't working. And you have to prepare for something like this. And of course they didn't, and we didn't. And now we're seeing um, Iran, Iraq moving forward to get all these other countries to become a communist like them. And not only that, but to expand energy ties. All right, migrants travel to the U.S. border to find jobs and flee crime, they say. Well, the thing about it is the criminals left and all the good people stayed. And I think they should have seen this. I think they seen it coming. And now, of course, uh, the crime rate in Ukraine is almost like ours. They're not stopping the criminals. They just want uh, Russia to leave those few states. All right, so let's see what have we got for answers. I think everybody got this one. Um, all right. All right, and what is it? How do you solve a problem like Maria, huh? The answer is the guitar. She learned how to play the guitar. All right, Gal Gadot played Wonder Woman on the big screen, but which actor played the DC comic superhero on television from 1975 to 1979? Remember Wonder Woman? Well, who played Wonder Woman? Uh, I know her because she was dating Brown, Jerry Brown, for the longest time. So that's where I knew her from. Okay, on with the next one. Um, DHS, they're relying on release of migrants to come back when it's time and for them to do this legally and right. And when asked what was the percentages that from 2019 till now, what are the percentages coming through um, that um, are coming back for court? And it was so low. It was so low. Bad low. And so they're not coming back. We can't go on this falsity that these people, when we're just letting them in the country, I think they're too afraid to come back. And if not, they could be used for slavery with the cartels in our own country. Um, let's see. Okay, let's see the answer to this one. Who is Wonder Woman? Answer is Linda Carter. So if you said Linda Carter, you got it right. On to the next one. Um, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Which archaeological treasure are Indiana Jones and his father trying to find? So, what was the artifact they were looking for? All right, jump in there and give that answer. Okay, migrants travel to the border to find jobs and flee crime. And they said that, now get this, folks. Um, That's what they say. But now that today, they're saying about 87% that are coming to this country to seek asylum don't meet the requirements, but they're still going to let them in. See, it used to be a certain qualifications to be able to come across the border. Well, see, now they're just saying they're seeking asylum. And now they're looking at if any country, and I don't know why nobody's brought this up yet. If you're receiving aid for your people, and you don't have that number of people, they're going to cut their what we give them as aid. And now that they have lost so many of them, the aid is going to go down, and it's actually almost chasing dictators out of these countries. Huh? Great, huh? All right. So, what was it that Harrison Ford and his father were looking for in Indiana Jones? The answer is the Holy Grail. The answer is the Holy Grail. Okay. Greece received One Oscar nomination for the Best Original Song. Which love song was in Greece that got the award? Now, Schumer, boy, Schumer's really, if it's not him, I think him and uh, Schiff flip a coin to see who's going to do the worst damage. And he direct Democrats that to ensure or basically harass and threaten uh, voters that they have to vote for their party. And when it was sent to the Supreme Court judge, of course, it was a liberal judge, and he just said, "No, I didn't say that." But they've got it. They got it. The GOP has it. And so, wow. Um, I don't understand the whole thing of them bashing our country. um, and it's surprising that they're not even sticking up. They don't want our anthems. They don't want. I seen a video with this girl. She was in college that listened to the national anthem, and she laughed. She thought it was funny, and didn't see why we were even so fond of it. Huh. Okay, let's go on to the answer. Heck, we're almost done today. Friday and happy Mother's Day. Beth, you gonna go out and have all kinds of lunches this Mother's Day? Hopelessly Devoted to You was the song. What 1980 movie does Dolly Parton star in with Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin, as well as sing the Oscar nominated title song? What was it? I don't know. See, the Susan, none of this. Susan's got a really good question. So, why are they coming if they hate us? Free stuff, Susan. When we're offering them, when they're being told they can come here, they'll have a job, they'll have money. We'll give them money. We'll give them food and a place to stay. Wouldn't you do it if Canada said, "Hey," I'm sorry, or Alaska, "Hey, we'll give you money kind of to get up here with. We have a house for you," and they don't know if it's paid or if they got to pay for it. "We're going to give you a job, definitely. Whether if you don't want to work, then we'll give you money and food stamps and a car and a cell phone." I mean, it's kind of, you're like, huh? I'm sitting here, living. My kids are living in squalor. The crime rate's through the roof, and maybe it's time to go to the United States. But I think when they get here, they're going to be very disheartened. A lot of them are, and some of them even started walking back. Um, they found out what they were promised they're not going to get, and they found out they're going into places like El Paso. It's so crowded, they don't even have nowhere to stand. And then they're being told they could pick somewhere in America to go, and I just think that they start seeing they've been duped. So I really do think that eventually all these um, uh, these migrants coming home, they're going to feel duped because I mean they're going to be just left homeless. There's no jobs. They're saying, oh, they're going to get these manufacturing jobs that we don't want. Well, they haven't built. They're moving all of our manufacturing to Mexico or Canada, even Japan. So where's all these manufacturing jobs that they say these people are going to do? And they said the other one that was mentioned was uh, uh, farming and picking and processing. And they said that nobody wanted to do that job either. Well, yeah, they did. We had those from Mexico with visas that were picking, and high schoolers and college students for extra money during their off time. Not only that, but now they shut the farms down. So there is no farming jobs. I mean, the people that were being paid, for working for the farmers, they're the ones that are going to pick first. They're not going to start picking somebody that does not speak our language, and we're not going to bring in interpreters for them. I think they are going to be just so disheartened. But it's an invasion. This is a total invasion of our country for every city across America. There was a guy that came in last night. Anybody remember his name? Like, I think it was like John Brown. I'm not sure. I think that's what his name was. And he says it's an invasion. And I told him, yes, you're right. This is. Today is day one of our country being invaded by 150 different countries that they didn't get their aid in their own country. The dictators put it in their pockets. But you know what? They're not going to get what they think. They're just not going to get what they think. For food shortages, yeah. With yeah, Susan, there you go. She's boy, Karen, Susan's on it. Food shortages with plants mysteriously catching fire and government taking farmers' land. And not only that, we have had a dozen farms that the government chased off, and now they're being bought up by China. Is China going to put them to work, or is China going to bring their own people? When they do Belt and Road Initiative in any country, it's like what we say. If we blow up that over there in Taiwan, they're going to put Taiwan people in that new manufacturing plant. Well, what happened to us? What happened to all them migrants you promised jobs to? And that plant, that was the one that he was going to create like millions of jobs. Now we're being shortchanged, folks, because now he's promising jobs to people that aren't even in this country. You have to eat bugs. Yeah, not this kid. Now, if I was on that show alone, I was willing to eat bugs and grass. I would eat everything I could find. Grubs, they got great protein. Now, for something like that to win the $1,000,000, yeah, I'll eat a grub, but no, not for leisure. Um, Not even the chocolate covered crickets they want to say that are really good and crunchy, because we don't see our elite doing it. And now they're having all these grand dinner parties, and they won't even tell us what they're eating now. Have you noticed that? They're too afraid to tell us on these great big dinner parties at the White House what's being served, because it's steak, it's lobster, it's all the stuff they say, oh, don't you eat. Um, William, was it you today that was saying that they're injecting the cattle? I think Bill Gates is injecting. No, maybe. I don't know if you said Bill Gates, but I believe when I talked to you today, William, you said they're injecting all kinds of crazy chemicals from in our cattle as we eat it. Uh, William, if you can you write? Can you kind of write down what you said? Because I don't want to quote you, and I quoted you wrong. If I'm going to quote you, I'm going to make sure I got it right. So get as close as you can. Well, Beth, when the worthless thing of California, or send your worthless. Yeah. Now get this. When I was talking on the earthquake show earlier, folks, um, Dutchens was talking about this crack that goes from the southern part of California on the San Andreas that goes all the way up, is inching closer to the middle of the state. And he said when the middle of the state gets a pretty big earthquake that's never happened before, that's how far the crack's going to go. So um, I'm thinking they have always said California was going to fall off in the ocean. And I said, no, I don't think it is. I think half of it's going to move, is going to have the ocean fill in between. So we might have California Island, or the state, or I don't know what they call it, California Island, or the state of California Island, the island of California, or whatever. Then we could put all them pools over there, Beth. What do you think of that? We could put them all over there on that island. And then the rest of everybody stay on the other side that's hooked to the rest of the United States. So, and maybe if they put them all on one end, the island will flip, like Johnson said. Have you heard him putting people down? And he's the one that's, well, asked the general if all of the people of Guam moved to one side, wouldn't the island flip? And the look on that general's face was just priceless. Yeah. What do you think, Beth? If California cracks and it's supposed to fall off in the ocean, I think it's just going to do an island. Do you think we ought to put them all over there? And in fact, they could even start their own country. You know, they can call it Cala weirdness. And I'm gonna get some bad emails on this one. All right, so we're gonna find out the what Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin. It was 9 to 5, 9 to 5. Okay, I'm the song "I'm a Believer," which featured in Shrek. Now, some of them kids out there, those watching, and turn around and ask their kids, see if they know this one. Which was featured in Shrek, was originally recorded by which British mop top band? It's sliding. California's already cracked. Yeah, it is. It's overly cracked. Yeah, I know. I didn't understand when they started handing out the needles, and that was right before I left. And they're like, "We're going to cure the heroin problem." All of these legislatures there, oh, we're going to cure the heroin problem. We're going to give them needles. And I'm thinking, you fools, you don't give a heroin addict a needle. You just don't. That just encourages them. They look at that empty needle and they're going to go find something to put in it. Oh, good grief. And then of course, it spread across the United States. And then now to what do we have in our sanctuary cities or these big cities? We have a whole bunch of people strung out and stuck on heroin. Now they give them this bag, a drug bag, and it's got all kinds of stuff in there that it helps them do their drugs. It's not to, um, it's not to help them out. Oh boy. All right. Anybody? No. I think everybody. Let's see. All right. All right. Let's find out the answer. And we're getting close to the end of the show, and it's a Happy Mother's Day. Okay. And the answer is the monkeys. The answer is the monkeys. Now, also, the movie Shrek, Eddie Murphy plays what kind of animal? What kind of animal did Eddie Murphy play? Ask them kids. They're the ones that love that movie and want to watch it over and over and over and over again. Lenore. When you have grandkids, it's like they get stuck on, or kids, they get stuck on one movie. My daughter was Alice, the original Alice in Wonderland, the cartoon, and I had to hide the tape, the VHS tape. I mean, it was VHS back then, and um, well, my son was kind of weird because his was Sound of Music he liked. I never understood that one, but he loved that movie. But the kids get stuck on it, and now my grandkids, they've had quite a few of them, but it's more like the kid shows from off Disney or PBS. Um, my granddaughter, she was big on Curious George. She wouldn't leave it alone. And then my grandson, he had I can't remember what his was. He had quite a few his favorites. Now also Wiggles with my granddaughter. Now my youngest granddaughter, hers has been Baby Shark everything. Yeah, yeah. If you start Baby Shark, she brightens up and she'll yeah. I was gonna teach I was gonna teach her the song that never ends and told her to sing that to her dad. All right, the animal. Let's see if we got some answers. Um, let's see. Okay, on with the answer. And the answer is the donkey, a donkey. The answer is a donkey. Um, Israel resumes strikes. They had they had a ceasefire, and then they got hundreds of missiles sent at them. They were able to stop them all, and then they fired back. And then, of course, they came forward from Gaza and said, look what they done. Look what they done. And I know a lot of people don't understand that war over there. And the thing about it is, if Iran is in the middle of this, I believe Hamas and Hezbollah too, all the way up to Damascus, Lebanon. I'm thinking Lebanon, and so they're letting Gaza with help of Iran and probably Hamas. I'm thinking what I'm hearing is Hamas is there, and they don't fight fair, folks. Um, the way Israel is made, there's not too many places unless they can go on the beach and shoot. But what they do, and if this is purposeful, um, is they set up these launchers in um, in the streets. And there are actually people that live around those houses. They'll come out and they'll beat up these guys, and then they take away these missiles, but not all the time. And Israel says we only shoot back to the target where it comes from, because they always get accused. Israel always gets accused of taking out people, the people, innocent people, and it's not that they do that. Um, and this is a very hard war. This has been fought for centuries. Uh, and it's very sad that this happens. So, but they did resume strikes after they say the Islamic Jihad is now there and going after basically Israel and um, the Jewish people. And that's pretty much what they say they're after. Iran hates them. And another thing is Netanyahu. Now they're starting to put a big bullseye on Netanyahu. Um, and then we had Iran, Iraq. They signed an agreement to expand energy ties. And this is despite U.S. sanctions. And this is, William can tell you, this is normally done. And when you get sanctions, the countries that are sanctions tend to get together and figure out what they could trade. It's not to be uh, to not listen to what the United States. It's for the people. They're people. They can't do without taking care of the people, because it's their country. And this happens a lot of time. And the United States and the UN said this wasn't a good idea for Iran and Iraq to be making agreements. It really, we went to war in Iraq. And then, we had we moved over to Afghanistan, and Iran was always after us. We always had a war with them. But we were actually starting to do um, working with Iraq and getting Iraq to become more independent, but to make right choices. Schumer, he is directs Democrat to uh, be afraid of the GOP debt spending limit, to scare these people that if they don't get this, then everything's going to be shut down. They do that with the budget too. No Social Security checks, and it's not true. So he isn't. This was Schumer, and it was in a memo, And I had heard about this through my ladies at the Capitol, but now, and this was about a week ago, and now Schumer, it's now out there. Who? Let me see who put that. Um, this was Breitbart put that out. Um, and then you know what is even more odd, folks, and it's growing. There is a huge number. They say dozens of the Republicans, and there is now, they say, not quite a dozen of Democrat that are now thinking that Joe Biden needs a cognitive test. And they're thinking this could be something they push and he might have to do by the end of the summer. Yay. So, all right, let's get on to the next one and finish up our trivia. Bohemian Rhapsody in Wayne's World. Who sang the hit song? So, who did the hit song Bohemian Rhapsody? I think that's an easy one. Everybody knows that one. Reparations. Lenora, you're in California. What do you think of these? And now Newsom doesn't even want it. And um, the thing is, the panel's call to amend the Constitution to legalize racial discrimination. Um, it's these leaders and the Senate and in Congress out in California. I have went and listened to some of their hearings, and it just boggles my mind of how much money they want to spend. It's almost like the ones up in that what we're seeing up in Washington D.C. to spend and spend and spend, and oh, we could just print the money, and the taxpayers will pay for it. 200 million. Um, California never had slaves. Oh yeah. Yeah, but they were saying from all over the country is where they want this to lead to. And according to some of them, they're saying that, well, once we get it approved here, then we could spread it through the rest of the country, and then we can all be a part of it. No, no, no. Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. So I know that pretty much everybody got this one. So, um, William, I don't know. You're kind of lagging behind today. You letting them win, or did they take your did they take your pencil today and that had all the answers? Oh, they're getting you today, William. They're not going to let you win tonight. Answer is Queen. The answer is Queen. Who played Mrs. Robinson in The Graduate? Who played Mrs. Robinson in The Graduate? Now, when I thought about that, I could picture her, but I was like, my mom would know. And I was like, no, my mom didn't. I don't think my mom watched that movie. But who played Mrs. Robinson in The Graduate? Wow. Um, um, the feds have been, I think, yes, one of my last things today. The feds are now, they started looking at the scientists over the pandemic, but now top scientists and top meteorologists, now they have been able to actually dig into the data of climate change. They're looking at the numbers, and they said it's just not matching up, and that we're not actually getting worse because we've had worse years with tornadoes and hurricanes. And in fact, the weather guy showed that this morning. It was way worse in 2002, I think, was one of the worst years for horrendous storms that took out quite a few cities. And they're saying that the heat is the normal heat. But and then they're saying that The oceans are warming up due to what have I been saying? Volcanoes. So they're starting to say there is a climate change, but the way they explain it is season to season kind of change. And the climate does change season to season, but some are different. And because of the climate affecting that season, is where it's hazardous, not that the earth is warming up. Um, Anybody know? I haven't seen anybody answer this one yet. Who played Mrs. Robinson? Don't Google. Don't Google. And here comes the answer. Anne Bancroft. Anne Bancroft. What American writer director starred in several iconic European produced spaghetti westerns? What American writer and director? Huh. Did the spaghetti westerns? I think we were all talking about this earlier. Uh, I think everybody's going to know this one. I believe this is the last question. So, um, all right, Bassett and Bancroft. Well, boy, we're going to have some ties tonight. William, I'm glad they got a rope. I think even Karen's got duct tape. Wow, we have to watch these gals tonight. It's been a fun night, and we're going into a Mother's Day weekend, and have so much fun. And going back and watch the last show with some of what Mother says. That was great. Everybody stuck with me through the whole show. What is a spaghetti western? Um, I'd have to say who did it, and you'd understand it, or I'd have to say the movies. There's some of them that are considered spaghetti western. They're just really old, not old, um, westerns of the 60s and 70s. It's pretty much, I think they all use the same towns, but most of them were done by The Answer. Anybody get this yet? Uh, um, let's see if I can bring up some old ones that you might not recognize. How about High Plains Drifter? Uh, a few dollars more. Um, the good, the bad, the ugly. So if you're seeing these, Susan, that's part of what they called spaghetti flicks. So uh, I am though. I know this one. I knew one out of all the ones I did. No, I knew two. I had two answers right tonight. Um, so all right, so let's find out the answer, and I believe it's the last one. Um, and the answer is Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood. And they say that is all, folks. That's all, folks. Well, you're going to be surprised. They were all these girls um, were all tied up until that last one. I'm going to have to make sure. Um, okay. Who do we think got it with the girls? I shouldn't call you girls. I should say ladies. Um, okay, so we had Karen with 10. We had Susan with 10. William had 4. Linda in Illinois had 3. And a way to go, Beth, um, with 11 right. Um, so uh, she came in tonight. She came, she conquered, and she knew what a spaghetti western was. All right, that's it for tonight, folks. And hit the like button, hit the thumbs up. And if you're new tonight, next time, come on in, get in there and throw your comments in. If we're rewatching the show at a later time, still do it. Put the answers in there. We'll get you counted up. And of course, have a happy Mother's Day, folks. Um, and for those that we have lost our moms, you know, do a cake, do a pie, make one of her favorite dishes, and look up and say, I appreciated you, Mom. And, we have to keep our parents in our hearts and our kids. I've lost my son, so my mom and dad and my son are big time in my heart. All right, so with that, we will see everyone on Monday. We have William's show and we have Justice for All. And so hit subscribe, hit that like button, hit the follow. And we appreciate your support and we like all these new viewers. Welcome. We will see you on Monday.